Hello friends, and welcome to my English country cottage kitchen. Come on in. This is probably my favorite room in the house. If you love this look and would like to create something similar, today I'm sharing 10 different DIY projects to help you create that warm, timeless feeling in your kitchen without spending a fortune. These are projects you can do yourself, and they'll make a big impact. Let's get started. If you have standard stovetop burners, you can instantly make it feel more custom by adding wooden burner covers, which are also called noodle boards. They create extra counter space when you're not cooking and the perfect spot for styling a vase of flowers or some other decor. You can make one from scrap wood and stain and paint it. You can customize it and even add handles to create a tray to serve from. Another project that is a little more involved would be installing beadboard or V-groove paneling. The size and scale of this project is entirely up to you and the particulars of your kitchen layout. We did do a large feature wall on one side of the kitchen, but we also put beadboard as a backsplash under the cabinets along the back wall of the kitchen. Having the tongue and groove paneling on this large feature wall brought the entire kitchen together before it had been regular sheetrock, as you see here, with a hanging cabinet back in the 60s. First we painted, and then we went ahead and added the paneling. The texture just adds such fabulous depth and character to the kitchen, which makes a perfect backdrop for our next project, which is a classic plate or platter wall. The practice of hanging dishes on the wall in old English kitchens is very common and a sure way to add nostalgic charm to your kitchen. A plate wall is a simple way to add personality. You can thrift mismatched vintage plates for just a few dollars each. You can arrange them in a cluster or go symmetrical for a more classic look. Either way, it's a charming nod to the past. Collections like these reflect your personality and tell your story. Whether it's heirloom china you inherited, flea market discoveries, or handmade pottery, they bring a sense of history and charm to your space. As you may have noticed, the different DIY projects featured in this video are scalable. You can do as much or as little as you wish, and choose the ones that are suited to your DIY abilities. This one is super simple, and it allows me to continue looking for beautiful plates and platters on eBay and Etsy. In fact, by the last image you see, there will be more platters than where we started. Another advantage to doing a plate wall is that you can use the colors in the plates to solidify the color palette in your kitchen. Mine is mainly green with a neutral cream background, but it does have pops of blue, which are reinforced by this lovely platter wall. If this idea interests you and sparks some ideas, you might also check out Pinterest and Instagram. There are many different inspiration pictures of plate and platter walls available there. Our fourth DIY project is sewing bar stool or dining chair slipcovers. This can be, again, either very simple, like here, or more involved, like something Miss Mustard Seed would do. This is a fabulous way to add a personal touch and to carry the color scheme throughout your kitchen into your dining areas. Probably the largest scale, most impactful, common DIY project that is still relatively affordable is painting cabinets. Our kitchen from the mid-1960s was very typical, dark, honey oak cabinetry. Well made, but rather dated, and it lacked personality. But we could tell that the charm was there and the bones were good. I still can't get over the dramatic difference that paint makes. This kitchen now has personality, and it reflects who we are. This project did take late evenings and long weekends, but it continues giving back. One detail that became a strong supporting element in the overall cottage design of our kitchen were the corbels that we added to the bottoms of the cabinets. Adding corbels beneath open shelves or upper cabinets brings that handcrafted look to your kitchen. You can find inexpensive wood corbels online at salvage shops or, like we did, at the hardware store. Then you can paint or stain them to match your cabinetry, and they will look as if they've always been there. Corbels are decorative and functional. Here they provide extra support for the new heavy quartz countertop we have on our island. The next DIY project is probably one you've heard of before, and for good reason. It has great impact, and that is swapping your hardware. This drawer in front of our kitchen sink had these very odd vent holes of some sort. The drawer is a faux drawer, but we just knew we could do a lot better. The water damage you see on the left there is the steam from the dishwasher. Matt started by filling in the vent holes, letting it dry, priming, and putting on a good coat of paint. Then we chose some handmade unlacquered brass hardware that I found on Etsy in the cottage style. These are classic cut pulls, and they look so good against that pesto paste green color. Our kitchen is relatively small, so this investment wasn't significant. And even if you have a larger kitchen, you really could buy certain segments at a time. Here is that drawer all finished. Looks so much better. Idea number 8 for adding cottage style to your kitchen is to incorporate curtains. These can be as simple or as elaborate as you wish. If you sew, there are myriads of choices out there for fabric, patterns, and colors. If you don't sew, you can hire them done, or you can browse online and find some that are pre-made. The bottom line is, kitchens have a lot of hard surfaces, and adding some fabric to your windows will soften and add that homey layer that is so cottagey. Idea number 9 is in a very similar vein, and that is to add a skirt. A skirt in a kitchen can be tucked under the sink, or it can even be tucked into the bottom of a base cabinet. And again, there are many choices for color and pattern. As you see here, the classic gingham never goes out of style. You can even choose to coordinate the fabric for your kitchen window dressing and your skirt sink for a cohesive look. Our 10th and final idea might take you by surprise, and that is to take your time to create a fully stocked and set up tea or coffee tray to serve your family or your guests. If you are looking for inspiration for a tea or coffee station to suit your kitchen setup and style, there are many different kinds illustrated beautifully on Instagram and Pinterest. Over the years, our tea and coffee station has been created in several different spots. This one here is sitting at the back of our peninsula and has a very clear fall time theme. In this rendition, I have used the vintage brass tray that I found at an antique store, and it very beautifully corrals the tea, which is in those tins you see there, and everything needed to make the perfect cup of tea to share with a friend. While I make a cup of tea for you and I, let's chat about what really makes your cottage kitchen the homiest place in the world. What makes a kitchen the place where everybody wants to be? This is a question that I've often pondered and observed whenever we host. And it is true, oftentimes when we have a group of friends over, they would rather sit around the crowded little kitchen table on the antique chairs that aren't that comfortable, rather than going over and sitting in the living room, which is a lot more cozy. And I think what it is it's the fellowship. It's knowing that they are wanted, knowing they're loved, knowing that we're very interested to hear what is going on in their lives. And this, my friends, is what makes your kitchen the coziest place in the world. is because it is life-giving. It is about sharing your home and your life with the people you love. So regardless of which project you decide to dive into, something involved like painting cabinets or installing a paneling, or something as simple as hanging a plate wall, remember that your home is for sharing, and it is for ministering to other people. Just last week, we had 2 families and 10 children over, and we were in the middle of a remodel project, so serving wasn't quite as smooth. There wasn't quite all of the things that make it as comfortable as possible, but the ladies and I all agreed we would much rather get together than wait for the time when our homes are supposedly perfect, which, spoiler alert, I'm not sure that ever happens. Friend, you don't need a huge budget or lots of skills to create a warm and welcoming cottage kitchen. I hope these ideas inspire you to see the potential in your kitchen for creating the space that is the homiest spot in the world. Until next time, take care.